Alright guys, what's up? So previously, about 6 months ago, I put out my first six color Capture One styles slash presets. They were very warm and cinematic, but over this year so far, I've been aiming more at bigger brands. I've been doing pretty well, but I realized the more bigger brands I work with, the more natural looking edits they like. So if you guys know me, like I can't go too natural, just that's not how my mind works. I don't see the world like that. So these new presets are a little more natural by keeping the blues more saturated and keeping the white balance a little bit lower while putting in a filmic look on top of like the cinematic vibes. So yeah, previously there was six. It was 6 for $50. Now there's 10 of them. They're all new presets. And I think I'm gonna price them at 50 still. I don't wanna go too overboard with that. I know a lot of people, they struggle with coloring. So I'm actually gonna make another video on like my top tips for color grading. Like top do's and don'ts. Yeah, I know presets just helps a lot of people. So if you guys like these colors, maybe it'll just make your life a little bit easier. I know for me, when I open up a photo shoot, I usually do select all, and then I just apply a certain preset. I figure out which preset looks best for that photo shoot, depending on what the different scenarios were between the looks. And I just apply that look as a basis. From there, I go in and I tweak whatever photos I'm gonna retouch. But yeah, I have 6 photos lined up here. So let's just go through them and let's go through these 10 presets and see what you guys think. All right, y'all, let's just jump into it. So the first 3 images were from a shoot I just did a few days ago. Aaron and I, we drove all the way out to Nevada to shoot at this location, and we did a 1-day trip. Didn't get back home till like 3 a.m. and I've been sick since. I have no idea what I have, if it's cold or fever, I have no clue, but all I know is I'm super tired and my neck's all locked up. And yeah, have a nonstop headache, so no clue. But yeah, so let's just jump into them. So here's number one. Number one is the one that I tend to use the most, but you'll see it just really depends on the photo which one looks best. So like number 4, she looks like she's a Martian alien or something like that. So we'll come back to this. Actually kind of like the way that looks down near her belt. But her skin tones are a mess, so again, we'll go back to that and go over it. So you see about half of these work for this photo. I really like this one. And then this one's super filmic looking. Let's go to the next photo. Number 2 looks pretty good on there already. Let's see. Pretty much most of these are looking good on here. And you'll see as we go through the photos, these presets affect each photo way differently. But at the same time, they're pretty consistent. See, look, number one always gets me. Again, these bigger brands, they like more natural edit. So I think this would pass for a more natural edit. But who knows? It's hard to read their minds sometimes. So again, the number 4 is pretty warm, but you'll see in some other photos coming up. I try to choose photos with a bunch of different lighting scenarios. You guys know I shoot in the desert a lot, but have a couple of sets from different vibes. Oh, look at that. Man, I just love that. Look, that's the original and the edited one. You see most of these look pretty good on here. So you see how number 5 was too warm on the rest of them, and then this one's just totally different. Oh, I love how that looks. That is just gorgeous. Sorry, guys. I'm in love with color. See number 9. It's a bit saturated on there. Again, we'll come back. After I run through these, I'll go and select a preset for each one, and I'll show you the kind of tweaks that I usually do. Most of these presets, it really just depends on the shoot, but I usually just choose one preset, and I try to stick with it for the whole shoot for consistency. I'm loving how that one looks. Oversaturated again, but okay, so this one was a backlit shot. It's underexposed a little bit, so you'll see what we'll do with that. And then this was shot in the morning. At that point, the sun didn't come over the horizon yet, so you can see the mountains back here. there's just all soft light. There's no direct light hitting anything. So this is as soft as light as I usually get into. But yeah, let's see how these look. Yeah, these are all looking pretty gorgeous. So you can probably hear my laptop fans blowing. I tried shooting this on my iMac, but for some reason QuickTime screen recording kept messing up. So this is actually the 5th time I'm recording this today. Yay. Alright, so you guys saw how those look, so let's go through and let's actually select a preset. On this one, again, I'm just going to go with the one that I say I use the most, number 1. We'll lower that color temp a little bit. Not too much right there. Let's go into the contrast. Bump that up. And I would just keep it like that. I mean, again, it's that easy. My presets are pretty heavy-handed, so they usually don't need much changing. Tweaking, yes, but changing, no. This landscape one. I think I liked number 2 for this. On number 2, let's turn on our light fall off. Again, that's just lens vignetting. Let's turn on our highlights. Lower that contrast. This was shot at sunset, so really this was, the shadows were a little deeper. It was more like this. I absolutely love that. That looks gorgeous. Let's take those highlights back. Let's take the shadows back too. Oh, there it is. So a lot of people would probably be like, oh, let's get those shadow details back, but again, lately I've just been keeping things more natural, and I just think that's way more filmic to me. When I say filmic, I'm meaning like film being shot for cinema use, if that makes sense, guys. Sorry. So there's number 1 again. 2, 4. Okay, let me show you real quick. So you see how this one's too warm? Let's say number 4 is your go-to for the type of photos you shoot, but you get a photo and it's way too warm. She's looking like a Cheeto. We'll just go and tweak it. So simply, let's go into white balance. Let's lower that. Let's keep going with that. Let's lower that tint down to the greens. Let's bump that contrast up. So there you go. That looks like your kind of filmic wedding pastel kind of look that people like, but still a little more desert vibes, you know. Again, these presets with Fujifilm files, you can usually push the white balance and the tint all over, and the skin tones react pretty naturally. They don't lose their color and tone, if that makes sense. So yeah, again, when you get the presets, make sure you play with the white balance and the tint on each one, and you figure out which one you like the most. 5, 6, 7, 8. I like 8 on that one. 9, that looks pretty cool too. 10. Let's do 8. And you see it's a little bit exposed, so let's just lower that exposure. Boom. I love how that looks. You see all the ambient greens and blues in there, and then the blacks have a light reddish kind of tint. It looks like a high ISO film stock almost. And you see there's some highlight recovery going on. I'd probably turn that off just to keep it looking a little more natural. I don't mind when things blow out. Let's do this photo. This photo is really fun. 1. So again, number 1's the one I usually would go to automatically. But if number 1 doesn't work, I just start going through these other ones. I should really start using 4 more. You see how the other ones, 4 was too warm, and this one is just perfect. Number 6 looks cool, kind of like a cross-process look. Number 7 looks pretty rad. 8 looks cool. 9 looks cool. 10 looks cool. Let's do 9 since 9 looks the worst of all of them on this photo. So you see it's really heavily saturated. So first off, just go and lower that saturation down. Let's put that exposure back to 0. Boom. I love that super editorial look with like a minimal color scheme pretty much. All right, this photo, from the get-go, let's just raise that exposure, a little more magenta back in your skin tones hue. Slower color temp. Let's go through these puppies. Start with 1. So again, 1 would be the one I usually go with. Let's see what these other ones are doing. And I think we're gonna try 9 in this one again. So again, it's very, I mean, that's kind of saturation. That's what I used to would have gone with just 6 months ago. But again, I'm trying to do a little more natural vibes these days. Oh, that looks awesome. I love how that looks. Let's just see what it looks like when you lower that color temp, bump that exposure, and bump the saturation back up now. I mean, a brand would probably like that one more. Again, brands are weird. They're hard to read. Sometimes they just like the straight up camera look, but you can't blame the Fuji straight up camera photos are pretty good. So again, this one, last photo guys, bear with me. 1, 2, 3. This all look pretty good on here. Yeah, 4 looks pretty good on there. 6. Why not 7 look? It looks cool too. Alright, let's go with 8. Let's raise up that color temp. It's a little too blue. We're losing the color in the greens. You see, raise that color temp and the greens come back. Now her skin's a little too magenta. Put some green back in the tint. Oh, too much. Let's lower the exposure down a bit. Let's lower the saturation down. So her skin tones look pretty good. And there we go. Alright guys, so tell me what you guys think about that. Again, the last presets were 6 for $50. I think I'm gonna release these 10 for same price. Again, they're similar vibes with the whole like moody cinematic vibe, but totally more neutral colors and they're not so baked in. But yeah, if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments. You can email me about them. Tell me what you guys think about them. I had pretty good positive feedback in the last one, so I'm hoping for even more positive feedback on these ones, guys. So yeah, peace.